Hi guys, it's Tracy in Australia. I hope that you are all safe and well. I've popped in to share this week's creative project, which is actually a guest design team spot for a fellow Aussie who has a shop on Etsy called Willowbound Journals, and I've used some of JD's digitals to create a little journal. This is actually an envelope journal, and apart from one page, it is entirely made of envelopes. Now, the inspiration for that came from a very creative lady on YouTube called Charlotte Peterson, and I will leave the link to her channel in the description box. And she'd made several of these, and I was just in love with them. So you can see what I've done on the cover here. The cover is an envelope, and I've stitched some fabric to it, and then I've used several doilies, which I've also sewn on, and some chiffon roses down the spine where I've sewed in the signature, and on the front here, and I've also put the seam binding and sari silk under that, which I use for the tie. And on the front, I just did a lot of layering. So I added in some doily pieces, a bit of lace, and the centerpiece is this handmade flower that I did last year, little pearls and diamante in there. So let's go in and have a look. Do I need to make that bigger? Just a fraction. So I have used some Prima papers and some little decorative pieces from Prima. It's a line called Romance, and I've had that for a while, and I thought it really went with this journal. I've done a lot of collaging on the envelope pages, and this is just like the sort of thing that I've done. So I've layered on a book page, a French book page, some Tim Holtz paper, what do you call that? Not rice paper, tissue paper. There's a little bit of muslin. There's a photo, reproduced photo that I've sewn on. These are some stamps, and I've fussy cut those and laid them up. There's a paper doily, a little bit of lace, and a die cut. So lots of layering going on, and that's the sort of thing that I've done throughout the journal. I don't always leave the envelopes open because it was just this journal was just getting too chubby and I couldn't do it. Here I've used one of the receipts in the ephemera pack as the basis of a page. I've added in these Shinami rose flowers. They're one of my favorites. Decorated the pocket with a little piece of embossed paper, and then popped some of the ephemera pieces from the two sets into the pocket. So I've inked those and tea dyed them, and you can write on them. I've torn and inked all the sides. I'm not going to go through everything that I've done because it will just take too long, but a lot of the receipts had the dates 1940s or 50s, so I kind of went with that theme, so Paris in that era. So I found a photo of a beautiful lady. I think this is actually Hedy Lamarr, and put that into a die-cut frame. There's a Tim Holtz ticket, a bit of lace. The receipt here acts as a pocket, and into that I've popped a piece of the ephemera. Now, just to open that up, I love that the stamp's purple, and there's a stamp there that's blue. Just adds a little bit of colour. But it also does give you a little space to write if you want to do that. So this is actually a flip out envelope that I've made, and I used a die cut to make a hole there, which there's a piece of acetate behind that, and then used a photo onto a card that you can see through that, and I've decorated it with a die cut. So the tab makes it easy to pull it out. You could write on the back of that, and it flips open, and there are lots of little points of interest. This is a stamp, and it says we'll always have Paris. There's a garment pin there. Prima paper here, and I have left this open and left a notch there so that you can see that there's a piece of ephemera in there, and you could write on that. These are little pieces from the Prima line, all with a French theme. That's a little envelope, and I just like that they add that little bit of colour, picks up this. Smaller envelope. This is a gorgeous envelope. It has very beautiful stripe on the inside. This is stamping. There's embossing. And I have left the top open, and I will put some ephemera in there. So this is a stamp that I have. I tried to use up a lot of my French themed stamps when I made this little journal, because often we have so many stamps and we don't use them, which is such a shame. I really love stamps, and they're my weakness. I do like to buy them. So this is actually a Kaisercraft paper, and it really went with the era, with the dots and the colours. So I've used that out of my stash, and this is one of the Prima pages that I fussy cut as a tuck spot. Here I used one of the ephemera pieces from Willow Bound Journals to create a tag. Just decorated it up with various bits and pieces, a washi, paper doily, and another Shinami rose flower. One of the other ephemera pieces. Just looking. I like the colour of that one. It's just nice to have some ephemera that's not beige coloured. So because I couldn't use every envelope as a pocket, I did just decorate some of them. So here I've used a really cute photo of a couple in front of a monument. Used a Prima page. I've torn it so that you can actually see the other page underneath. There's a Shinami rose flower, and this is a little piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. Smaller pocket here, and I've popped a little card that I've stamped into that. That's a Kaisercraft stamp. Lots of layering there. Here I've put a little eyelet so that I could tie this stamped tag onto the back. Little pocket here. This is a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera, and this is a stamp. I think these are Seven Gypsies stamps. They're really lovely. You can see the envelope there. This one actually is a pocket. I've stitched a photo onto a piece of the ephemera, folded over the corner so it looks like a little dog-eared, used some laces. I think there's a little date down there, 1937, and again one of the stamped ephemera pieces. Another stamp that says Paris. You can see I like my stamps. I've had these acetate pieces for ages, and I decided to cut them up and use them as pockets in this one. You can see the back of the envelope here. I haven't left it open because I'd made the pocket. So Tim Holtz piece of ephemera and one of the ephemera pieces from Willow Bound Journals. Just looking to see if this one has a date, 1936. I made a fabric pocket on this page, and again used French book pages and decorated it with a stamp and two, this was a Tim Holtz die cut and a Shinami rose flower. This is actually an envelope, and I decided to turn it into a little booklet. So there's lots of stamping. Again, a photo. I've layered it up with an off-cut piece and stamped the word Je t'aime, Tim Holtz tissue paper, and tore a piece of the ephemera to use as a pocket there, and a picture of the Arc de Triomphe. I think I've stamped postcard on the back of that. And an eyelet with a bulb pin and a little pearl hanging off it. I've left that open and popped in a very, one of the larger receipts. There's lots of these. I didn't use all of them. But I did tear some up and use them. Again, a receipt as the decoration, decoupage, washi, stamping. This envelope, I used the acetate to make a little pocket, die cut, and I've stamped a tag to go in there. Left that one open and popped in a piece of ephemera. There's the date, 1947 on that one. Another piece of ephemera on the back, some washi. This one flips open. This is the Kaisercraft piece. I made a decorated, might help if I turn it over, decorated paper clip here, and that's where this little piece of ephemera goes. 1949 on that one. And you can see that I curled up the ends of the paper clip. They look really cute like that. I don't know who first did that, but it's really cool. So this has a pocket made from the Prima papers, stamped card, and 2 little tags from the Prima paper line. This little envelope I left quite plain. There's the embossing. I added a paper doily and a flower, and it opens at the top, and I put a tab on that little piece of ephemera to make it easy to take out. Stamping, a little bit of lace. So this envelope, I've torn a piece of larger ephemera to create a pocket, popped in a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. The side is open there and has a piece of ephemera in it. And the date is 41. So that was while the Germans were occupying France. On the back, another piece of that ephemera to decorate the pocket, and then I've made a little tuck spot and popped in some pieces of French themed Tim Holtz ephemera. I've been hoarding those for ages, and I thought, right, going to use them. Again, I've used a book page and turned over the top to make it look dog-eared, and a piece of the Prima paper as a tuck spot, and then a piece of the rest of the page I've cut that as a tag and decorated it with a piece of lace and some washi tapes. And very plain on the back, just some Tim Holtz tissue paper and a little tiny bit of lace. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out JD's store, and also Charlotte Peterson's beautiful envelope journals. Thanks for watching.